When we got to Fiji, it didn't take 5 minutes to reconnect with Rusi.
Oh, yes, it was.
Howard made me smile again.
I saw some white sponge.
Michelle and I were eager to help Rusi, but first, we had to pay our respects to local tradition.
Before outsiders can dive at my home island, the elders must grant permission. My people have always limited fishing. This tradition of reef conservation has worked well for centuries, till now. First, I wanted Howard to see my village reef as it used to be.
The reef looked great, with plenty of small fish, but we didn't see nearly as many big fish as we did in Australia. And that worried me.
The time had come. I took Howard and Michelle further down the reef.
I wondered where all the animals had gone. These reefs are dying. It all just makes me really sad.
Seeing so much of this reef destroyed, we realized that Rusi's Reef may be what all coral reefs look like in 30 years.
Our reef used to be home to so many creatures, but now they're almost all gone.
After seeing all the destruction, though, I saw an octopus. Octopus make like a tent with their body. They put out their 8 arms and actually trap shrimps and crab that live on the reef. He had obviously figured out how to survive. Not many reef dwellers are able to do that.
For islanders who survive by fishing, the death of the reef has really hit us hard, especially when you have children to feed.
But what killed Rusi's Reef? Foreign fishing fleets have overfished these waters. And thermometers tell us that the ocean is 2 degrees warmer than normal.
I found more bleached coral and no big fish. But I had a hunch that ocean warming and overfishing were not the only problems.
10 miles inland, when tropical rainforests were cut down, the river turned muddy with silt. Two rivers merge, one with logging upstream, one without. There's only one place for all that sediment to go.
At the mouth of the river, silt blocked the sunlight that the coral needs for growth.
Rusi's Reef had been hit by a combination of stresses: ocean warming, overfishing, and siltation. Corals may fight off one threat, but 3 at once proved too much.
Now I understood the problem better, but what could I do? Howard thought a healthy reef might give us some answers. We set course for another island.
There we joined up with John Michel Cousteau, who's the son of the legendary explorer. Jean-Michel comes to Fiji every year to help marine biologists like Marie-Joao Rodriguez monitor coral reefs.
We guided Howard and Michel to a nearby reef where siltation is not a problem, thanks to mangrove trees. Their roots trap silt, protecting the reefs.
Many fish use mangroves as a nursery to protect the young.
My fellow Fijians have set aside these beneficial mangroves as part of a marine preserve, making the reef offshore a wonderland, healthy, beautiful, and strong. This is the way I want my reef to be.
Tropical coral reefs are found worldwide. Fiji is the soft coral capital of the world.
Corals are beautiful, but they're also beneficial. Chemical compounds from coral reefs have been reproduced in the lab to provide relief from chronic pain, ease childbirth, and even extend the life of AIDS patients.
Corals share their food. In fact, many of them share the same stomach.
When the current picks up speed, time-lapse photography shows how these soft corals inflate like balloons to trap passing morsels.
On a healthy reef like this, you see so many different creatures.
We prefer not to approach the animals. It's better if they come to us.
This distant cousin of the cobra can kill a person with its venom in a matter of minutes, but they rarely bite humans. Michel is counting on them.
We learn a lot about a reef from its animals, and so do the children. There's more to the reef than meets the eye.
Observation is the first step in science. Who would notice that yellow damselfish guard their tiny eggs before they hatch?
Or that the sea cucumber filters waste, leaving the reef cleaner for all. Some of the finest marine biologists are Fijians. We could have a budding scientist in our midst.
Don't you ever ask them why? If they told you, you would cry. So just look at them and sigh.
We've learned that we don't inherit the earth from our parents. We borrow it from our children.
Is he a fisherman?
Children love to spot fish they've never seen before. That same thrill of discovery drives many scientists, like Richard Pyle.
Yeah, I catch little fish for science.
Richard Pyle calls himself a fish nerd. He studies fish on the deepest parts of coral reefs.
The deeper down we go on a coral reef, the less we know. I want to find out what lives there.
You can't get a true picture of a coral reef if you only look at part of it. But deep dives can be really dangerous. Even using special breathing devices, we can still get a fatal disease called the bends.
I nearly lost Howard on a deep dive only 2 months ago. He had a bad case of the bends. It could have killed him.
To stop the progression of the illness, I began breathing pure oxygen, but it didn't seem to help. I was losing all feeling in my right leg.
One of the terrifying moments for me was actually seeing him stumble. I just thought, this can't be happening.
Michelle rushed Howard to the hospital, hoping that a specially pressurized chamber might halt the illness and save his life.
Thank God for the communication system, because at least then I could talk to him. Howard survived, but his close call was on my mind as we prepared for a dive to 350 feet.
The next day, on the deep dive, Howard and Richard would face pressures nearly 12 times greater than normal. But they're expert divers, and there's much to learn by exploring regions where so little is known.
Support divers attach safety tanks to a lifeline every 50 feet. Roger, 100 feet.
As we descend, too much oxygen is bad. Too little is worse. Both can kill you. The safety divers go down as far as they can and stop. After that, we're on our own. As we drop down the reef wall, it gets darker and colder. And in a way, we're going back in time. At 200 feet, we pass limestone deposits that were laid down 20,000 years ago, back when this was the top of the reef.
Michelle, we're at bottom, 350 feet.
At 350 feet, we enter the twilight zone. It's sort of spooky, but wonderful to look around at a reef that no one has ever laid eyes on before.